I think I'm going to quit my job at Target. I work as a cashier at my local Target. It is in a pretty busy area of my city where many businesses and a strip mall surround it, so we get quite a lot of business. I'm a high school junior, so I've been working there for about 3 months to pay for my car. Nothing that out of the ordinary has happened so far, except for an incident where an unclothed man decided to go on a jog, but that's a different story. Anyways, this incident occurred just last week, and I have contemplated quitting ever since. I was working a little bit later that night. It was around 8:45 p.m., and it was getting dark outside. There were only a few people shopping since it was late, so I was sitting at the counter trying to hide my phone from my manager as I checked it. My manager shouted that she needed assistance in the back stockroom, so my coworker went with her, and I was the only one left up front. I sat, bored. I debated heading over to the little food court and getting a bag of popcorn, but my thoughts were interrupted by the sound of the doors opening. The Target I work at has those motion-detecting electronic doors, but when I looked over, nobody was there. I dismissed it because those doors malfunction all the time. It was just a false motion. I waited some more and checked out a woman's cart, which had an entire house's decorations in it. A few minutes left, the door opened again, and there was nobody there yet again. Weird, but obviously not unheard of. I would tell my manager to get the maintenance on the doors. But then, I saw someone over in the clothing area. They weren't browsing, they were just standing there, motionless. They just stared out into the aisles. I was creeped out a little bit, but thought it was just another drunk person hanging around. I ignored it, and eventually they walked out of the store, still expressionless and barely moving. I decided to go shelve items since there were no customers. I went to the back where the toys were and started shelving some dolls and costumes. Then I saw someone else. It was a different person this time, but they too were just standing there, staring. "Looks like the stoner has a buddy," I whispered to myself. Didn't these kind of people belong in Walmart? I kept shelving, and eventually that person left. I finished shelving and went back up front and had partial view of the food court area, and I saw the guy running the kitchen just sitting at the counter, staring at nothing. What the fuck? I thought. I knew Steve, and he wasn't a stoner. He was actually the type that would rat on you if you did weed behind the building. I walked over to the counter. "Steve." No answer. "Steve, are you okay?" No answer. "Can I get a small popcorn and a slushie?" He made zombie movements to the popcorn and made me a bag, and poured some slushie from the machine. Without any expression, he handed them to me, and then in a monotone voice that you would hear on a text-to-speech program said, "$4.50. I gave him the money, my hand trembling in fear. He took it and continued his staring at nothing. I hadn't really noticed because of the weird shit happening, but my coworker and manager were still in the back, and it had been about an hour. I decided to go check on them. I walked inside the stockroom and saw them, standing, staring, in the same damn expressionless state. What the actual fuck? They did nothing. I tried talking to them, but nothing happened. My phone buzzed. It was my alarm. My shift was over. "Hey, Amy, I'm clocking out," I told my manager, trying to get a reaction. She just nodded her head in a robotic way. I hauled ass out of that place. I walked out into the parking lot and everyone seemed normal. They were moving and talking like humans. As I glanced back, Steve was still motionless, and my manager and coworker were now up front, but in the same zombie state. This was the first time I stayed at work past 7:30, and it makes me wonder if this happens every night at 9. I'm scheduled to work late again next Friday, and I really don't want to chance that weird-ass situation again.